This is a picture I took from my loading dock the other day, and I have habitat, obviously. So I don't have a rat population, problem, but we have a few mice around, but we've used bait stations and got pretty well under control. But birds have been my real issue, and we have habitat that I need to get rid of. I've actually done some work to get rid of trees, and then my brother plants them. So plants trees around. So I have habitat for the birds, and I have tried a lot of different things to control them. I tried some traps. I'll show you pictures. I don't know if you can see, but there's a house sparrow right there. House sparrow is the little bird I'm dealing with. And I guess the good news is I have, as a landlord, Mass Audubon for some of our property, and I talked to Audubon a bit about this, about how am I going to control it, and at least I found out what you guys have confirmed, that it's an invasive species, and Audubon has no trouble with any way that I wanted to control it. They gave me some suggestions of mist netting, which didn't work at all, and when I did catch a few, I had employees then release the birds that they walked, and it was troubling to walk and see a bird struggling in the net. It didn't work very well. I have a greenhouse attached to this loading dock area, there's a building that's enclosed attached to an open loading dock and with a greenhouse on the other side, and the house sparrows, they come in through the open, they come in and infest the loading dock and live there if I allow it, and then they would also come in through the glass windows of the greenhouse, so they had a few access points, and they're still hard to control. They don't generally populate the enclosed building. We don't allow them to sort of nest, but they'll come through it, and there was bird crap on packaging that I wanted to use, and it was just a serious nuisance. And as we moved our way into this CQP process, we understood that we couldn't tolerate that anymore. So there's a house sparrow just last week, and this is a bad picture because there's too many things cluttering it, but it's an old trap that I did use with some success. So it's a couple feet long, and the bird comes in. There's this little piece of wood is hinged, and it will drop if a bird climbs across. You put bait like popcorn, and then the bird would try to come across that and fall down. Its own weight would make it drop, and then it would have to climb into the cage. And then you would put water in the cage. You're trying to make it habitable for the bird, and then others will come when they see one in it. So once you've caught one, you could then begin to catch a few more. And after you had a few in there, if you fed them and kept them well watered, you would get more birds in there, which, by the way, you would then need to kill. So there's as much if you think you're not, you then, to be responsible, you then need to kill them. So that wasn't, and it wasn't, the most I ever caught in there in a week, I caught maybe up to about 20 birds, but I couldn't do it regularly, and it wasn't really dealing with the population. So I looked into other solutions, and this is Brian. He does a lot of different things on the farm. This was just about a week ago. He's holding a bag of cracked corn that I got at Job Lot. It's cheap cracked corn, and that's part of the poisoning of these birds. It involves training them. So you need to you walk around your place, and you see where the birds are flying to, and you establish where their habitat is, and then we put on a little plate cracked corn, untreated with anything, underneath those bushes, and we put a pile in the greenhouse on a plate under a bench, and we put some under a couple of bushes. This was last week, and this is what we've done a number of times, usually just 2 times a year. And you train them to eat that cracked corn. So they eat the cracked corn for 2 or 3 days. 3 or 4 days is good. You'll start to notice that corn disappears after a day or two quickly from the plate, and so now you've established a pattern for them to eat, and then the material, so that's just cracked corn in the box, but the material, which is called the avitrol, looks exactly the same. When you buy it, you speak to the people about what type of bird you're trying to control, and they recommend what to use as the medium. So in this case, they recommended cracked corn. This came embedded on cracked corn, so it looks just like the stuff out of the bag. And then, so after 3 or 4 days of baiting them with regular cracked corn, you mix this it's between 1 parts of this to 5 parts regular cracked corn, or 1 to 10, and the label reads that you can use it anywhere in the middle there. So I go 1 to 7, and it's very effective. You need a pesticide applicator's license to buy it. It wasn't all that easy to find a place to buy it from, but I did. And
where did you get it?
well, it was once called Residex, was the name of it, in Franklin, Massachusetts, but it's now been bought by a bigger company, and I'll have to get the name. But that's where I got it. So this is Brian putting out the cracked corn. This was untreated at the time, but just in a few places that we saw the birds for days around. So now he baited a few spots, and then he smiles all the time, and he probably shouldn't be smiling with a bag full of dead animals, but that's a bag of dead birds. This picture was just last week. I had to send him out to pick. The one troubling thing is that you've got dead birds around, and if you have a retail operation, you need to get them away from people. And we have, every time, including this time, had customers say, there's a bird that's really sick over, or a bird that's not flying, and can you help it? And somebody on a micro will take it away and help it. And anyway, house sparrows is what we were dealing with, and that's what we had a bag full of. And I know that, we then continued to find them away from the building, dead for a few days, including today. So more than the 40 or so that he picked up here died, and so the numbers, you stop hearing them. Before we poisoned, you could hear them all the time, and we were always pulling nests down, and now, we're not going to hear them, and we've really managed to control them in the building and around our packing area. And there's still plenty of birds in the fields. I have had only one non-target bird that I found, and that I don't know how many others may have been, but really this is pretty exclusively house sparrows that I have around my packing area.
Do you know the species of the non-target bird?
It was a cardinal. There were others. We see lots of cardinals around, and there's still cardinals around. I was surprised I hadn't ever seen one around our packing area before, but I did find that one, and I didn't feel good about that, but I don't know what else to do about controlling. That was a sick one that was still alive, but that was in the pack house. That was right under our time clock, so they're around my building. That's the product. I failed in my other attempts. The building has lots of spots where they could roost, and so constructing a new building, I would change the way we built it so that they couldn't roost, but this was an effective tool for getting that population down, at least.
Sorry, how often do you have to do it?
We do it like twice a year, and that seems to be plenty. We kept them under control for the 2 or 3 years now we've done. So we've only done it 5 or 6 times total, but
And each time you do the baiting first?
yes. Yeah. I don't know, you know, I should probably learn more about their life cycle and know how long each bird lives, and, but I'm assuming with that pretty big gap in time that there's new birds that haven't been trained to know what to eat and what not to eat. I think they continue to eat it even after that first day, and so it's effective for a while. So.
Do you use any other kind of like, I'm not sure where in the space you use, but like things like this plastic strips over doors?
We do
or
have,
like
we've installed lots of script curtains,
Yeah.
so we have script curtains going into our main store, not everywhere, but into the more open packing facility. We don't have the script curtains. We have garage doors that we close at night and so on, but it was really coming in through the greenhouse when the vents would open when the greenhouse is hot, and then that was an issue for the ones that were coming inside. And you know, I'm always going to have that venting, and I could put screens over those vents, but yeah, I have it's an older greenhouse and it has many of those glass vents. If I had a continuous ridge vent, I think it would be different and I could do it more easily. But for now, I haven't succeeded in excluding them very well. But and the trapping was not controlling the population. I was succeeding in trapping birds, but I wasn't controlling the population. Yeah. So.
Can I mention something about albatross? So
Sure.
when we used it down south, it was used as a flock scare for pigeons. So you do it, for example, 1 poison kernel to 8 that aren't poisoned. And the ones that got sick would scream and fly funny, and all the other pigeons would get freaked out and move away from the area. So you weren't actually trying to kill the pigeons, for example, but you'd have applicators they'd put out 100% poison corn. You get pigeons falling from the sky. People are freaking out. Oh my God, Cook's Pest Control. They're on the news. So that's the importance of reading the label, right?
Yeah.
In this case, that's good. I mean, we don't need house sparrows around, but using it in New York when the only wildlife is the pigeon, people
Right.
freak out. They love their pigeons, and you're just making them drop out of the sky. So the importance of reading the label there. I'm sure it's fun to see.
Is it just targeted for sparrow? I mean, is it all birds?
I think it will control many different birds. So that's
It's probably only labeled for the invasives, I would assume.
Probably.
And the targeting is in what you're feeding them.
Yeah, what the bait.
So if you
yeah.
baited a different grade, and that's what you're saying, you
Right,
have
it might
to talk
be.
to someone about which.
Right.
Do you know if, this maybe is a question for you, Tasha, this chemical in here, if it's the bioaccumulator or if the bird
Not
just
sure.
dies?
I
We don't use it
wondered-
much because it's pretty dangerous.
That's actually the thing that I was wondering most recently is that, you know, we have a lot of birds of prey around, and are they gonna swoop down and eat? I was told that they won't pick up a dead bird and eat it.
But if the bird's
So-
struggling, then it's probably fair game.
They don't work their feet.
Well, it hasn't seemed to impact those birds of prey in a real radical way. We have plenty still, including we have falcons now. We have a lot of birds of prey around, and I've seen them, you know.
Have you worked with the Audubon Society for that reason? I've talked to other folks who have Audubon land where they've actually worked at like bringing in.
I haven't, but I do have lots of conversations
Yeah.
about all these different birds of prey, because now in Sharon we have eagles and falcons and hawks, and we have a lot of birds of prey around. And I know nearby on Blue Hills they catch them and keep a count of what's that are eaten, so that's kind of cool. But, so I would be concerned if I was going to
Yeah.
affect that population. I don't think that it's having a bad effect, but and then there would be mammals that would maybe eat the dead bird that I would also have to